Few months ago, I built a rustic coffee table using some scrap old planks. These planks had some visible saw blade marks, nail holes, dents, and other imperfections. I found that these details really added to the charm and character of the piece. In that video, I promised to create another project where I show you exactly how to achieve that look intentionally. Well, today is that day. We are building a rustic TV stand with sliding barn doors using standard 2x4s. With all that being said, let's dive in. First up is cutting all the pieces we need. I'm using a slightly dull saw blade. This part makes a big difference since that slightly rough cut leaves those subtle imperfections and marks in the surface, and that is exactly what we are going for. If you prefer your cuts clean, by all means just slap in a sharper blade, but for this project we are embracing those imperfections. Once all the pieces are cut to size, we'll start assembling the basic frame. For that, I'm building a simple rectangular shape with legs, and I'm using wood screws and a little bit of wood glue for strength. Next up are the side panels. This is where we can get creative. I'm cutting the 2x4s into different lengths and laying them out in a random pattern. There is no real science here, just arranging them until it looks right to you. The goal is to create that pattern that looks interesting and still has that grown together look. Once I'm happy with the layout, I'm gonna glue the boards together. And now I'm just repeating the same process for all the visible panels, which are the ones in the middle section of the TV stand, although they are going to be slightly thinner than the side panels. Now for the fun part, distressing the wood. First, I'm going to apply a coat of black paint across the entire surface. The black paint is going to settle in all the grooves, cracks and saw-blade marks, and once I sand it back, the paint will stay in the deeper parts, highlighting the texture and imperfections. It is a simple but effective way to add depth and character to the wood. Save the tabletop for the last, but make sure not to skip on the details. I followed the same exact process as with the other parts, distressing it to give that worn rustic charm, but this time I added a little extra by creating some neophones, mimicking the look of reclaimed pallet boards. This is another one of those simple details that really help sell the idea that this piece has a bit of history, even if it's just fresh from the workbench. And finally, when everything is ready, I'm molding up for the finishing stain. For that, I'm using a walnut stain to warm up the wood and give it that rich earthy note that really works with the rustic style. After the stain dries, I like to give it another light sanding. This helps to expose some of the natural wood underneath, creating that contrast between the dark stain and the lighter areas. To finish it off, I'm gonna add 2 coats of water-based varnish. It gives the surface a durable, smooth finish without taking away that rustic feel.
Tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade.
For the final touch, I'm gonna apply the same rustic effect on the sliding doors hardware, and to do that I'm gonna first use some rust effect spray paint, applying just a bit of rust in the corners and the areas where it would naturally occur. Once the rust is dry, I'm dabbing on a bit of hand cream. After that, I add a top coat of paint of choice. Once the top coat is dry, I wipe it off, and wiping it off removes the thing that didn't stick because of the hand cream. As a result, we got this paint peeling effect on the rusty old metal, which complements our Rustic TV stand really nicely. This is it, a rustic TV stand with sliding barn doors, made from a simple 2x4s and transformed into something with a whole lot of character. What I love about this project is that you don't need expensive materials or complicated techniques to create something that feels unique and is handmade. I hope you found this video helpful and you picked up a few tricks for your next woodworking project. If you enjoyed watching, be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave your opinion in the comments. Thank you for watching, until next time.